Hello to everyone and the internet. Welcome to Friday, maggots. February 1st. Don't let the politicians step on you. I am Nathan of Washington, and you are watching Culture Shock, the only show on the internet that knows how to separate an issue of culture from an issue of politics. And this is the news in 2019. Alright everybody, how we doing? Before we begin, I would like to announce the fact that the following week I always take the weekend off. And I make up for that fact by the fact that I try and cover like a very wide range of stories here. But I will be instituting some changes to the show, both the Unglobalist and Culture Shock. I think I'll be changing the spellings, the logos, something of the format. I'll just be moving some stuff around. I'm not currently fully satisfied with it. I feel like the show could be a little better. So I'll be doing some planning over the weekends while I take my couple days off. So anyway, this is basically my personal 9-to-5 grind. Metaphorically speaking, of course, since it's not really 9 to 5. Anyway. Muslim school in England segregates children by sex, even though the British court ruled it illegal. This is what happens when you import people from the Middle East. They're married to their lifestyle and they do not want to assimilate. They are a negative presence. They are a toxic presence. And really, this is what you get. You import the Middle East, you become the Middle East. And the girls at this school are not permitted lunch until the boys have had theirs, until the boys have finished eating. In other words, boys come first, which is appropriately a very Muslim idea. Al-Hijra is the name of the school. Yeah, that sounds real English. It's in Birmingham, and it segregates boys and girls, despite a court appeal ruling in 2017 that found that was unlawful. But they went and they did it anyway. It really comes down to a conflict between British laws concerning gender equity and religious freedom. Adhering to one, to some extent, is going to negate the other as due to the nature of Islam. It puts them between a rock and a hard place. And personally, I think they should all just deport them all back to the Middle East. Indiscriminately. Because at this point, it just doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't even matter if they have a criminal record or not. Their presence is disruptive to Western civilization because they refuse to assimilate. They refuse to adapt. This is the problem of Islam in the West. They have a religious fervor. Not unlike pure Judaism, and a sort of evangelizing similar to Christianity. Many Muslims are irrational and in love with their religion to the point where basically reasoning with them is impossible. So there's no changing them, and there's no bringing them into the Western way of thinking. And so naturally, their values are going to rub up against ours and create conflict. This is just more evidence of what I have already said, that Islam is a problem in the West. A British official welcomed the Court of Appeal's ruling that gender segregation within the school fell foul of equality laws. But despite the case concluding in mid-2017, the school still not desegregated. Because again, Islam. In the West, it's a big, big problem. And I think they should all just get deported indiscriminately because they're causing internal duress within Western civilization. Scientists think that X-ray mammograms cause breast cancer. Yeah, well, they think a lot of things causes cancer. They used to say that the microwave caused cancer. I've been using the microwave for years, and hell, hey, guess what? No cancer. Cancer is a hard case to crack. We don't really know what the ultimate cause is, but we do know this. DNA is programmed and informed by RNA. And sometimes malfunctions in that RNA sequencing result in poorly programmed new generations of DNA cells that have negative mutations. In short, cancer is one such mutation caused by bad RNA sequencing. Usually due to the introduction of some mutagenic compound that we refer to as a carcinogen. So really, it's a combination of foreign acids that are caused by it, as per the Swedish Cancer Institute. I watched a whole documentary on it several years ago. Believe me, I would link it in the description if I could find it for you. It's been a while. I'd literally have to go to their website, which I suppose I could do that, so maybe I will. But that is, in essence, the real cause of cancer. Nonetheless, it's a mutation. But they're saying that the recent radiobiological studies have provided compelling evidence that the low-energy X-rays I used in mammography, okay, I did say that right, are approximately 4 times, but possibly as much as 6 times more effective in causing mutational damage than higher energy X-rays. So it is mutation, right? Since current radiation risks estimates are based on the effects of high-energy gamma radiation, this implies that the risks of radiation-induced breast cancers from mammography X-rays are underestimated by the same factor. So yes, I mean, radiation does cause minor mutations, and maybe one of those minor mutations could be the necessary one to cause the growth of cancer cells. But again, they frequently, cite various things that end up not causing cancer in almost their day-to-day lives. It's really not that clear. They even admit, by the scientists' own admission, that this is at least partly based on the assumption that the reviews of interviews and data are accurate, which is how all these cancer studies work. They work on at least a partial assumption that the data and reviews are accurate. Often there are many bizarre subjective experiences that they can't explain that debunk many ideas. Like again, supposedly, they said in the 70s that microwave ovens cause cancer, and people kept eating from the microwave, and surprisingly, no cancer. So, in short, the true cause of the mutation that brings about cancer is far from clear. It could be multiple causes, as it seems to be the case, but to actually nail it down with absolute certainty seems nigh impossible. Moving on, Rand Paul was attacked in 2017 and was recently awarded over $580,000 in damages. The attacker was a member of Antifa, of course, and is attempting to appeal his sentence with 30 days in federal prison for the assault. 30 days? Nah, he should be getting like 5 years. He was also ordered to 1 year of supervised release, a $10,000 fine, 100 hours of community service, and ordered to have no contact with Paul's family. He was Rand Paul's basically next-door neighbor, because Rand Paul is basically a conservative/libertarian. Of course that attracts, Antifa, because Antifa thinks all conservatives, or anyone right of the aisle, is a fascist. Yeah, well, anyone in the camp of Antifa is a terrorist, so there you go. The funny thing is, Rand Paul originally asked for like $1.5 million. He obviously didn't get it. But $580,000 is pretty good. It's quite a bit. It'll cover your medical bills. And even have a little bit extra after. So I think $1.5 million was a little bit much. Sorry to say, Rand. $580,000 sounds pretty decent. I wouldn't complain if I were you. But, yeah. If there's anything about this, is that I think he should have been given a harsher sentence and made an example of to the other Antifa members. Like, huge publicity. to try and discourage their continued violent behavior. But Rand Paul's tweets about this issue included, "This lawsuit wasn't about me. It was about all of us, and what we find acceptable as a society. We need to send a clear message that violence is not the answer. Anytime, anywhere. We can hold different views, whether it's politics, religion, or day-to-day matters." I agree. Except for maybe that the violence is not the answer, at least not in this case. Sometimes it is, but most of the time it's not. It's only in certain cases. It's never okay to turn those disagreements into violent, aggressive anger. I hope that's the message from today. Yeah, I agree in that he should have been made an example of. Definitely. He should have faced a much harsher sentence. He got off easy. Slap on the wrist. That's insane. People in this country either get sentences that are too light or too heavy. It's nuts. Equal justice is dead. Anyway, that's it for Culture Shock today, folks. I'm out.